One.
There you go. We are live. Yes, folks. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Workbench Live with Festa and Foxx for our good friends, eModels.co.uk. Your
one-stop shop for all your model making needs. All of
there you go.
All
And
those needs.
the clues in the names. I'm Colin, Festa 67's workshop. And this is Fox over at Model Making Guru, and we are your hostesses with the mostesses whilst doing these wonderful Baneblades for eModels. But I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat. Athol's in says, evening guys, ready for more fun and frivolity. And the lovely Wendy Hickson with an H is in. Evening, she says, hugs to everyone. And thank you, Wendy. I had a birthday card arrive this morning from you, so thank you very kindly for your hug.
Wait, when's your birthday?
15th of July, mate.
Oh, God, you got me worried then. I thought I'd missed it.
No, 15th of July. And I'm the ripe old age of 56 this year. Yeah.
56. I can't even think about numbers that big.
Yeah, I'm officially a right old miserable so-and-so. Jeff Light is in. I'll clean that up, saying, good evening, Colin, Fox, and all in chat. Hello, Jeff.
Evening.
Love to you and love to Maggie, mate. And how have you been, Fox? How's Mum? And what are you going to be up to?
I have been fine, thank you very much. I've not really had any bench time the last couple of weeks, as usual, because of various reasons, but I'm not too bad, not too bad. Nothing to really report, to be honest. Bit
boring
flat
then.
on the old... Bit flat on the old activities. Started new part work with little tiny 143 die-cast cars.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but it's because I am the world expert in Fast and Furious, of course.
Of course you are. You know every bit of the film, don't you? What's the main character's name?
Bob Dobalina.
That's the very man.
Spanner McDangleThrutch, and then there's the lady, that one with the hair, the one.
Wendy says, sorry it's early. You don't have to apologise, Wendy, ever to me, darling. It was lovely. Nice that you thought of me, love. Dominic is in, says, good evening, Fox and Colin. Hello, Dominic.
Dominic.
How are you doing? And so what's your plan tonight for your rather splendid looking Baneblade?
Splendid. Well, my friend, the plan is as follows, you see. I sound like Professor Thingy from Futurama. Good news, everybody.
Yeah. Leave him alone with me. What's possibly could go wrong?
With my reputation. Last week I did the dry brushing on my sponsons and on my turret.
That's right.
I did the two base colours, Xandri Dust and Skaven Blight Dinge, and then I put a wash of sort of Agrax Earthshade all over it. And what I'm doing now is bringing back the highlights with the dry brushing. So I've done that on the turrets and sponsons. I've now got all of that to dry brush tonight.
Oh,
to bring it back to looking
nice.
lovely, because I want that kind of post-shaded effect. Because at the minute you've just got smudgy, dirty brown like that, but this has got like a post-shading effect, and that's what I'm after.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm bringing back with the... Oh, I've nearly bent that off there.
Nice. Oh, nearly. Oh, would have ended in tears. Would have ended in tears.
So more dry brushing today for me.
Happy days. I'm having a nice, easy night tonight. I'm doing a bit of decaling, because if I don't put them down now, I'm going to forget. And when I start my chipping and weathering and all of that lot, I'm going to then have really clean decals going over weathered. And it's like, so I'm going to get them down now whilst it's on my mind, and then I can get on with me weathering then. So
Chip in.
Yeah, we'll see how we get on. And if I get the decals down, then I'll probably do a bit of chipping. Wendy says I had 2 dates, the 7th and 15th. Don't ask me why. It'll be on time next year. My brother's birthday's on the 6th, love, so might have been thinking of him. I don't know. Then I suppose you don't know my brother, do you?
Lee Eagles in says, yo, guys, because it's 1997. Yo.
Hello, Lee, how you doing?
Lee in the house.
Absolutely.
And Stefan Lass says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone in between or beyond. Welcome, Stefan. Thanks for coming along.
Hello, Stefan.
Right, let's do all the dry brushing in the world then, shall we?
Don't forget, folks, Belly Bench and Beverage is on. And also it's eModels, so if you could do us a favour and keep it all family friendly and don't mention other retailers.
Yep, no swearing and all that stuff. Don't talk about all the model shops.
If you want links for what we're building, they are available beneath the description, or in the description, sorry, beneath the video.
Yes.
So you can grab one if you choose to do so.
Yes. Don't forget, of course, we do have the chat in front of us. So if you want to be even more entertained and interact with us, then ask us questions and give us things to talk about. Just put your comment in big fat capital letters, or as Ted would say, bold.
Just
so
remember,
we have a chance to see a comment.
We are men of a certain age.
Yes.
Just saying.
If you want to, you can do a super chat by to get our attention by pressing the dollar symbol under the chat window. But keep in mind that goes to eModel. It's not our channel.
Yeah.
But yes, you can do a super chat if you want. If you have something that we absolutely have to see.
Oh yeah.
Because we've both got magnifiers on, and our chat's over there and our focus now. So.
Yeah, and we are useless. We really are that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we shove one of them?
Dry brush my first panel. The first transport is away. Is away.
Nice one. Yeah, we'll have one of them on each side. Just figuring out decalage. So,
oh yeah. Are you going to stick with kit decals, or are you going to do some made-up decals and just put millions on?
At the moment, it's going to be some kit decals. I'll have a raid if I need any anymore. But yeah, I've got, as you know, I've got absolutely lots of decals.
Oh yeah, I've got a big stash of them myself.
I've lost count how many sheets of Orc decals and glyphs, whatever they're called.
Glyphs.
Lee Eagle says, bold and moist. There you go.
Got a little moist from me there. Little moist.
Dominic says, I am working on the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1 from Tamiya in 48th scale. Get in, my son.
Very nice.
If you can let us know as well in the chat, the audio and video is fine. Athol says, did you say Colin, 55 years old? Yes, I'll be 56 in a week, Athol. 56, mate.
I shall wait for my cake to arrive. That's how it works, isn't it?
I am a full-blown cantankerous old wazzock, as Ellen says. I cleaned that up as well.
Wazzock, you did. It's very clean. I can't imagine Helen saying wazzock. She's northern, but she's northern, not northern.
Yeah.
Bless.
As I said to her, a lot of hard work has gone into being this miserable.
Oh, yeah, it takes a lot of effort to be this grumpy.
Absolutely.
It's not just something that happens overnight, you know.
We are officially the grumpy old man that we all remember as a kid.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a suit made in 1958 with waistcoat and tie and sweater in the middle of summer like old people used to do when I was in the 70s.
Yeah. You know that one where if you kicked a ball over their fence, it would be like World War III trying to get it back, wouldn't it? Yeah.
They, for some reason, all the old men when I was a kid in the 70s, they all looked like Albert Tatlock from Coronation Street.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Now, just very quickly, Colin and I were talking before the stream, and you may remember, a little bit of pimping for eModels here, you may remember that Colin has taken possession of and will be filming a giant 1/16th Sherman tank for eModels.
Yeah. Yes, folks.
Yes. And I was looking at the eModels site yesterday, and I happened upon the 1/16 section because I thought, after you got yours, I'm like, I fancy doing one just for myself.
He wants one now. Yeah.
Because it's like a big Baneblade, isn't it? It's just I could do Baneblade jobs on it, but
if I got to issue you a free bandwagon ticket, that's what I did.
No, because it's more just a case of I'd never thought about 1/16 tanks before, but seeing yours, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, he wants one now.
I want one now. But yes, so I wanted to say, if you fancy like doing a big tank while Colin's filming his, go and have a look at the 1/16 section of armour on the eModels site. There's loads of them, and there's some awesome kits in there. They're not all like 500 quid jobs. Some of them are actually amazing, and just go and have a look.
Yeah.
And it was also, somebody mentioned the other day about a 1/16th half track kit. They've not got that. I think it's the new Dragon, maybe, I'm not sure, but that's not in stock at the minute. But I was interested in that. So. If you fancy doing a big tank of some sort, go and check them out.
Worth it.
I've got my eyes on one of them.
Well, my
I might do it at some point.
paint arrived today.
Ooh.
So filming of that will commence once I've let the Dakar bike even have its run. So I shall start filming it, and it'll be getting edited whilst the Dakar is on their channel. So look out for that going up in the next couple of weeks.
Next couple of weeks, yes.
So I've just got to do the editing because I filmed the whole shebang basically. So
I need to get back into filming for eModels. It's been a while. I've got to finish that Imperial Knight Canis Rex. That's got to be done. Yeah. I started filming that. And real life kicked me in the backside because real life is like that.
Absolutely. Stefan Lars says, Colin and Fox, Blue Thunder or Airwolf? Blue Thunder all the way.
Airwolf.
There is only one helicopter.
Airwolf.
Blue Thunder.
Cool kids like Airwolf. Nerds like Blue Thunder.
I don't mind being a nerd.
I am a nerd, but I still prefer Airwolf.
You know how much I am a nerd, mate, when you sent me that XL thing the other night.
Yeah, that's true.
You was like, dude, you are a real nerd. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you are. You are a nerd. Colin was getting excited talking about XL, Microsoft Excel.
Oh, yes, logical functions and formulas.
And I mean, he was as excited about talking about Excel as I get excited about talking about Bluey. So, just so you know.
Yeah, it was bad. And he just read back and did not realise you was this much of a nerd.
Yeah, I just left you to it. Babbling away in the corner.
I was.
You were?
Nested formulas. Oh, mate.
You keep your formulas unnested, thank you very much. I've just glommed paint all over myself.
You like?
Yeah, well, not myself. I mean, the pot. It's the pot's done it because it's just silly pot design.
So I'm going to have a bit of scullage underneath that Aquila. There you go. Oh, there. I just got a Warhammer thing right.
You did. I'm impressed. You grew up so fast.
You're proud of me, aren't you?
I am. I'm very proud.
Yeah.
I never knew you. I knew you had it in you, even.
I know. He's many months of training he's put in.
Years, eons, decades.
Wendy says, Airwolf all the way. Damn it.
Good girl. I mean, come on. Airwolf's got Ernest Borgnine in it, and it looks like a killer whale. Come on. Why would you want something that looks like a knockoff budget dime store Apache with some old bloke in it?
James Farentino.
Yeah. I mean, come on. James Farentino or Ernest Borgnine? Come on. Of course you want Ernest Borgnine. There's no argument. It's just...
Yeah, there is, because I know it irritates you.
Oh, it doesn't irritate me at all. I just fight my corner.
Right.
Excuse me.
So we'll let that start adhering on the top, and then we'll come back and we'll hit that with a bit of the old strong decal solution.
Mm-hmm.
Stefan Lars's Blue Thunder for me. It just looks brutal. Airwolf just looks like an helicopter. Exactly. Blue Thunder looks rock hard. It's the Arnold Schwarzenegger, whereas Airwolf looks like the kid that got kicked on the beach with the sand.
Blue Thunder looks spindly.
No,
it looks like a mayfly that would fall over the moment you blew a gust of wind at it.
Airwolf is just an helicopter in a shell suit. That's all it is.
Airwolf looks like a killer whale. Killer whales are pretty mean.
Yeah. Blue Thunder is the rock-hard Gulf War Apache helicopter before the Apache helicopter was a thing.
Blue Thunder looks like a dragonfly.
Yeah, it's on steroids, mate. It's rock-hard.
Nonsense.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Excuse me. Right, tickly cough going on there.
So there you go, see. Yeah, Athol says Airwolf without a doubt. Damn it, can go off some people.
That's 3-2.
3-2.
I'm winning.
3-2.
I'm winning. Woohoo!
Damn it. Jeff Light says Blue Thunder was a gazelle.
Oh, if it doesn't say it's good or bad, he just says, okay, that's not still 3-2 then. That's all right. Excuse me.
Not that Fox is
going on there.
competitive in any way, but when it comes to Airwolf and Blue Thunder, yeah, he gets quite protective of Airwolf.
Sorry, I'm just in a coughing fit there.
No.
I'm not necessarily protective. I just know which one's better. Dee, 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 dee. A little bit of that.
Not going too mad with decals, he says.
You can't use that phrase, Colin. You're not allowed to.
Yeah, I know, but you got to admit, 10 out of 10 for me, still trying.
Yeah, it was worth a try, I suppose.
How long, for the viewer's sake, was me and you sat at our benches today staring at Baneblades?
Oh, I was ready to roll by about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it was too warm in here to do anything else, so I just had to sit there and look at it. I couldn't turn the computer on.
He started messaging me saying, my Baneblade's staring at me.
Yeah. It was calling to me, but I can't repeat what I said. It was shouting at me.
Yeah, mine was seductively trying
Shouting
to seduce me.
obscenities.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was shouting at you like a Marine drill sergeant, let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
How's that comparing to that?
Okay, so we've got numero on the side. Do we have one? Would it have one on the front? Would there be a number on it? There.
It's your tank. It can have whatever you want.
Have one there. Got one there.
Excuse me.
Could always slap one
apologise.
on the front, couldn't we? Yeah.
Slap it on.
Got a pair of guns going on there.
Sun's out, guns out.
I've got that on the side. Just going to be something. Now, bear in mind, these are about the size of an house, aren't they?
Yeah, these are like the size
Yeah.
of a warehouse, basically.
Yeah. Tell you what, then I'll slap one on the top there. Purely and simply because I can. Because if a WASBomb Dakar jet happens to fly over, it'll be going, that tank down there, what number is that? Is that one of ours? And they'll be going, dunno. Because that bald bloke didn't put a decal on top of it telling us. See what I did?
I see what you did there.
So adding a bit of story to it, see?
Breaking news. Festa has no hair.
Yeah.
People now know that. They didn't know that before. They do now.
This is called Dominator.
Dominator.
Yeah, that's the name of it. It's Dominator. Never met this Dominator bloke, but apparently he's all right.
Yeah. There's also a female version of Dominator, which is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, it's got a brother called Term. See what I did?
I see what you did there.
It was
And then
lame,
he's got another
wasn't it?
brother, but he's not got another brother called Procra, but I'll get round to telling you about him later.
So let's try and bring that over more central, Cole. The only reason I'm doing that is because I've slapped a white skull down on a white background. It don't look good, so let's put it like that. So you can see it. See, I make the mistakes so that you don't have to.
Yes. Of course, there's always the option of painting over the decal with a different colour later.
I hadn't thought of that.
Like you can put the white skull decal on then and paint it over it red.
Damn
Or
it.
go over it with a glaze of red so it changes the colour but without having to do a lot of painting. I've done that in the past before.
Do you know, that's not a bad idea, you know.
Sometimes if you want to if you want to use a marking but you my brain kind of started the thought process and gave up halfway through.
Yeah,
you can use the
There you go.
decal as a template to paint over.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Does
going
come
to
in handy
do.
sometimes. Yeah.
See, I do listen to you, dear. Don't know why.
I know.
I don't know why. I question this every week. I don't know why.
I do, because most of the time I'm just talking nonsense.
Didn't want to say. I was trying to big you up for the viewers, mate.
Nah, they know the truth. They know the truth.
So we got a bit of that going on there. Athol says that 1/16 scale Sherman will have individual track links, I presume. Yes, it does.
Yes, they come with those kind of scale you get, like build it yourself tracks.
Yeah, there's, I think, 5 or 6 parts. 5 or 6 parts per track apple.
Are they resin or are they
No,
plastic?
they're kit plastic, mate.
Kit plastic.
Yeah, kit plastic.
I was looking at one that had like resin tracks. I'm like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's got an aluminium barrel. Don't know what. Yeah.
There was two I was looking at on the eModels page. There was one which is a German. I think it's based on the Panzer One.
Yeah.
Little tiny tank, but it's got like a big tower and like a bloke sticking up at the top. Cause it's like a light reconnaissance vehicle, but based on the Panzer One chassis.
Yeah.
And I think it's dead simple. It's not got an interior or anything. I'm like, oh, that looks quite good. And there was another one which was some Vietnam era thing that's just a weird triangular little spud with like a big recoilless rifles on the top.
Oh, right.
But that's the one that's like 400 quid, so I wouldn't get that one. But it looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that's got like a metal body shell and everything because it's hardcore shenanigans. But yeah, no, there's a lot of brands in there. It's not just like the Tamiya. There's Hella's got a few of them.
Yeah.
There's Dragon, I think, Tacom.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but there's also, did you know they've got in store, they've got they've got a 1/6 scale Kubelwagen.
Yeah.
And they've got 1/9 scale Kubelwagen and some other vehicles as well, like 1/9. I'm like, oh, 1/9 scale Kubelwagen.
Yeah.
Or 1/8 scale. That could be interesting. 1/6 scale.
Well, this is it. I mean, when I looked at the 1/16 tank, it just floated me boat.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I haven't done, although I did the ball tank, it's just nice to do a real tank that's, existed, so to speak. And I just thought, I fancy doing a bit of armour. I've done cars, I've done bikes. And I thought it would give the viewers something different. So,
yeah. I mean, I've been aware of that kind of scale of big tanks, but I'd never thought about them. But with doing this Baneblade, and I've done a few Baneblades recently, and then you getting that, I'm thinking, oh yeah, 1/16 tanks are a thing, aren't they? Because I'd forgotten about Ted's Panzer IV. And I'm like, well, I enjoy Baneblades so much. I'm sure I'd enjoy painting a dirty, great big tank at some point. So I'll keep them on the radar. I'll save my pennies up, and I might get myself something for the future, maybe.
So, it's one of them, and I just thought, well, because what had put me off is obviously me having somewhere to store it. But obviously building it for eModels, it's their tank, it's their property.
Yeah, you store it in a box that goes back to them.
And, I'll be sending it back with a nice letter. Pete, you've got to find a shelf for this, mate.
Yeah, put it on that big shelf that's right next to the 300-foot long U-boat that Ted gave you. Thanks.
So, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Like I say, I got me paint and, I'll sit and start the assembly soon. Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of like doing so many Baneblades recently and having done a big 1/8 scale Dodge Charger. I've now got this little appreciation of really big models.
Yeah.
But like you say, the difficulty I would have is where I would put it when I finished it. Yeah, that's the challenging bit.
Well, this is it. I'm not known as an armour builder. I've always done, cars, bikes, a bit of Warhammer, that sort of thing. And it's only recently, in about the last 3 years, that I started doing armour. Yeah. And it's just nice to stretch the brain a bit, innit, and go out of my comfort zone almost. Yeah. So.
Plus, there is something nice about like making a model of something that you've made many times before in your past, but at a much smaller scale, bigger scale, and now doing it at a massively small scale, so it's an enormous model. It's like, you know what? There's so much fun to have painting and weathering it, especially if it's like that Vietnam one. It's just green, so it's just base color of green, pre-shading, and then bang, you spend weeks weathering it.
Well, this is it. It's like the one I've got there's got the red face on the front, so I can fade all of that lot in with judicious dry brushes and that. And for me, what sold it for me was just the weathering potential, because weathering real life armour is something that I've always shied away from doing because it's not my niche, and I've got to overcome that hurdle. So what better way of doing it than doing it along with the viewers? Because, we've got the likes of Athol in there. I'm sure if I do it wrong or whatever, they'll be the ones that say, try this, try that. And I don't mind that. I'm not above suggestion,
I don't really think there's any way to do it really wrong.
No, that's right. But obviously, you know, there's going to be people out there where armour building is their forte.
Yeah.
They'll be able to say, here, Cole, have you tried doing this technique? Have you tried that? Of course, me being me, I'll be like, never heard of it. Discuss.
Yeah,
and then I'll sit and learn it with the viewers. So I'm actually looking forward to it because it's giving me an opportunity to learn, you know, new techniques and ways of doing stuff. So why not?
I think for me, it's also the potential of like the weathering.
Yes.
Like with standard scales like 1/35 and stuff, you can do quite a lot. But when you get to like 1/16 scale armour, you can do like, you can really spend a week just painting rain streaks on a tank, but like in a realistic way. I could spend weeks just painting paint chips on one panel. It's just
it could take you a week just to do a hatch.
Yeah, I mean, all the amount of weathering you put into a 1/35 tank is basically that is what you do on every single bit of a 1/16.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, painting a dirty great big 1/16 tube would also be kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, got a figure with
it. Yeah, because I'm not the best figure painter in the world. So
yeah, so yeah,
I might pick one up for myself maybe one day, at some point.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I was chatting to people in the Zoom, and it was, oh, you've gone out your comfort zone choosing that, and I'm like, yep, because I'm not one for resting on me laurels. If I wanted an easy life as an eModels builder, I'd just sit and build me motorbikes forever.
Yeah,
but it's not about that. I want it to be diverse, not just for me, but for the viewers as well. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm after doing. So, you know, people may like it, they may not like it. I don't know, but I'm going to enjoy the experience.
As long as you're having fun, doesn't matter.
That's what it's about.
It's all it's about, having fun. And plus, like I said, there's a little bit of me that, like, when I was a kid, if you give me a toy car, it's cool. If you give me a toy car that's 4 times the size of that toy car, that's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of my favourite toy cars, because when I was a kid, I was big into toy cars. You know, Matchboxes and Dinkies and all the other ones.
Yeah.
And I'd spend hours playing with them. But at one point, somehow I got from someone, it was what used to have been, I guess it was like it might have been like one of those ones where it was like Clickatronic, or where you could put it on it could detect edges and just drive around by itself.
Right.
Dead simple 1970s. But it was a massive, like, weird French Citroen that I'd never heard of, and it was like a metal body and a proper windscreen. It was like, compared to the toy cars I was used to, it was ridiculously realistic and enormous.
Yeah.
And it was amazing just because it was big and metal body, and it was like, wow, this is a proper car. This is like real.
Oh, yeah.
So I've always appreciated like the big versions. I had the Action Man flatbed truck with full tilt, and that was like great because it was huge.
Marcy says it's good to try new things. It certainly is, Marcy. It really is. And that's what keeps me stimulated in the hobby. Those wondering what's in there, that's my Decal water next to me there. I have it on a little cup heater, and it keeps the water nice and warm. Because warm Decal water,
is better. I must get one of those.
So, in case you wonder, I was asked it on one of the other eModels streams recently when I had it out, when I did the beer truck.
Oh yeah.
What I was using, and it's a little coffee cup warmer, basically.
And if you're not making a model, it keeps your coffee warm, which is vastly more important. There's a big dog outside barking. Big dog. Hello, big dog.
I'm using a bit of extra strong Decal solution just to lay this over the rivets. Let that start persuading itself into place. That's all I'm going to do is just go round side by side, getting this to conform.
Somebody's really annoying. That dog, it very rarely barks.
Yeah.
Must be like head choppers or something.
There you go.
Did you ever do that when you were a kid? Go hedge hopping? Oh,
yeah. I got bitten. I've still got the scars on me left side of my chest and under my arm. We went scrumping, and I didn't know that the guy owned a pair of Dobermans.
Oh, yeah. That was a good move then, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I proper got bit. And it serves me right. I shouldn't have been in his garden nicking his apples, should I? So
yeah. I mean, we used to go hedge hopping, and it was just like round all the gardens around here.
Yeah.
I only did it a few times, but the last time I think I did it, we were all going through these gardens, and like this last garden, we got stuck.
Yeah.
Because we're like behind this little flower bed, and we can see along the garden, and there's a kitchen window, and they're doing the washing up, and it's like crap, they can see right down the garden. So we had to stick there for ages. And when we finally moved, everybody jumped over this big tall fence into the next garden, and this dog started barking.
Yeah.
So they all legged it over the fence, and I couldn't quite climb up the fence, so I got stuck and left behind.
Oh, bless.
So, it turns out it was like only a house down the road, basically, but it turns out the guy was a copper, and it was his dog, was a police dog.
Yeah.
Barking from inside the house, and he's like, "You're very lucky that I didn't let him out, because he's a police dog."
Yeah, he would have got.
And I was, of course, in tears because I was like 12 or 11 or 7 or something. I don't know. And my mates had all abandoned me. So he called me dad, and my dad came and got me.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I got told off, and I got a pot noodle. I don't quite get the mixed messaging there, but.
You know, I didn't have a problem with being bitten. You know, my mum was climbing the walls, you know, and having a moan about the dogs. And she's, you know, and I said, but at the end of the day, I was scrumping. So, you know, the dog's only protecting its owner's property, isn't it? My fault.
Yeah.
Not the dogs, don't, you know. Because she was like, no, what the dog put that, all of that rubbish. And it's like, Mum, I was scrumping.
I was the one that was trespassing, you know.
Yeah. I said, you know. Now you've calmed down, I'll tell you, I was scrumping. The dog ain't at fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, a valuable lesson. My parents were. It was quite good because, like, looking back on it now, of course, I was like so scared and terrified while I was at this guy's house while my dad was on the way. But of course, when looking back at now, when my dad got there, the guy would have been like, "Yeah, he's hedge hopping." Yeah, they probably were having a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it now, they're probably laughing as he took me home.
Of course they.
Because he knew it was just kids hedge hopping. It wasn't anything dangerous, but.
That's the thing, though, when we was kids, you did stupid things, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I had a right go at my mates the next day, though. I was like, "You all left me, you swines."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Chunk and that, you know, they left me hanging upside down, blah, 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 with these dogs trying to basically get to us. They was gone, you know, and, yeah, I had a bit of claret coming off of me and all of that lot, and it's like, really? But you learnt a valuable lesson that day.
Yeah.
I didn't nick his apples ever again, so...
No. 2 valuable lessons. 1, 3 valuable lessons. 1, don't go in that guy's garden.
Yeah.
2, you probably shouldn't go in anybody's garden. 3, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Trust nobody.
So, yeah, it was... When you think some of the lucky scrapes you had as a kid, though, it's like...
Oh yeah.
Scary, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Then again, some of the lucky scrapes you have as an adult.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have you, like... I mean, I'm going to suspect you've done it more than me, obviously given your situation, but how many times have you stumbled on the stairs and then thought, you know, in a different universe, I've now fallen down the stairs and snapped my neck and died?
Yes. Yeah.
I do think like that sometimes. It's like, if in a different universe, I've just fallen down the stairs carrying this plate and stuff and stabbed myself with my dinner knife.
Oh, yeah. It's when you fall and you land millimetres away from a sharp object and you think, oh, another couple of millimetres to the side there. That's when you sit there and you think, God, that was close.
Yeah.
And I think that's an age thing as well, because the older you get, you do become acutely aware of your own mortality, don't you?
Well, you also go through that phase when you're in your early 20s and going to nightclubs as well. You think, oh, that was a close call.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dodged the bullet there. Yeah.
Not fresh yours, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's this phase you go through in younger times as well.
Well, as a young fella, there's probably the same for women as well. You think you're invincible, don't you? You really do think that you are unbreakable. Then you have an accident or something where you have to recuperate and you've had an injury. Suddenly you go, yeah, I have got a chink in my armour. I do break. And yeah.
The funny thing, you can try and be the big I am and the big man, but as soon as you get like a little injury and you're like, oh, Mum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that veneer falls away and you're like, yeah. Every hard man calls for his mum every now and then when things go wrong.
Oh, yeah. and I had my neck halo. You know, I was heavily reliant on H for obvious reasons. And you've got this, like she said, it was the first time since she had known me that she saw that there was a vulnerability there. Because suddenly you're totally reliant on someone else. She said, "There, you know, you're just as breakable as the next person." And as me wife, it made her then suddenly look at how I led my life, and she's like, "Yeah, we might need to make some
made.
Yeah, because you know, you're not accident proof, mate."
No, you did go through a period of change anyway. But
oh, absolutely, yes, and it's character building when you've had an injury, isn't it?
Yeah, not for me. I just gripe and grouse and whinge like a 5-year-old. Like a spoiled child.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong with that. We all bleat like a 5-year-old, mate.
Yeah, but when you've got mates that then take the mickey out of you for months afterwards, you have to learn to not do that.
Would I do that to you?
Yes, you would. Every time I mention Bramble.
Yeah.
You and Paul and Chris.
Yeah.
Curses to all of you.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, you kind of...
So you know.
You kind of got me there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you've got mates that will mock, when you're in a group of people who will mock each other mercilessly at any chance, you don't have the option of showing weakness ever.
No, you did. You had a moment of lapsed judgment and you confided in us, didn't you?
I made the stupid mistake of trusting my friends to not be jackasses.
Pretty much. But
yeah, and it's on me because I was the one that was making that assumption, like you had been in the garden.
I will then say this. Had that have been me and you had been one of the people being told, what would you have done?
Absolutely.
The same.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I don't know.
The thing is with Fox is he comes in and he thinks we've all forgotten. And he'll do something and we'll just remind him pretty much all at the same time. And then it ends up with a mass mockage of Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the order of things. I'm used to the life I've been forced to live. Have I got any more Zandri dust? Because this one's getting a bit thick and gloopy.
Normally starts with Paul Stewart, doesn't it? He's the one that normally instigates
it always starts with Paul Stewart. It always. He's only got 3 topics of conversation. And
go
2 of them I can't discuss here. 2 of them I can't discuss here. And the other one is generally...
Yeah,
it's generally... I've got a paint on my finger. It's generally mocking me in some way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a nice, endearing way. Bobbin says, I am not middle-aged. I am a pair of 20-somethings. Good man. Marcy also uses a coffee warmer for her Decal water too. It's great. It's brilliant, Marcy, isn't it, love? Athol says, Dear Santa, if you could possibly drop a cheap knockoff Lego Harley-Davidson Highway Patrol motorcycle, I'd be grateful. A bag of carrots for the team. I see what you did there.
Excuse me. Whoops. Spelling.
Athol says, what about climbing over the roofs of old buildings with metal tops like me? He fell through a hole and landed on a girder 30 feet above the ground, and it hurt like hell with a broken elbow. I used to have a scrambler motorbike, a bit like the old trials bikes, the best way of describing it. Modern thing would be a pit bike.
Like you used to see on Kickstart.
Yeah, we used to ride them round the building sites in London when they was putting up flats, offices, things like that. You would gun up the side of the scaffolding and you would do all your jumps and wheelies and stoppies and that on these scaffold planks because they was only narrow. And when I first started courting my missus, we drove up to one of my old haunts and we drove along the road and I looked up and I said, hold up a minute, and I pulled over. I said, see that building up there? Yeah. I said, I used to ride my pit bike from that building along a scaffolding plank, through that building and down there. I said, and it's only now driving under it I realised what an idiot I must have been. It frightened the life out of me. I did. I was like, wow.
I really used to do that.
Yeah, I was gobsmacked. I'm like, Wilkinson, you pilch. You dodged a bullet there, mate.
But then again, on the other side, you get the converse of that. I remember when we were little, we spent like an entire afternoon like climbing up on my neighbour's garage roof. He was there, he didn't mind. Up on the garage roof, which is just as tall as a garage, you know, an outside garage, and jumping off onto the grass.
Yeah.
Thinking we were dead brave because we were jumping this tremendous height off. And it's like, it's only like 8 foot.
Yeah.
But in later life, you look back and think, wow, we thought that was the big dogs. Though. It was just a garage roof. It wasn't that tall.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like say, that one false move could have ended all so differently, couldn't it?
Absolutely could.
If you're a young fella out there and you're doing daft stuff like that, just be careful.
Yeah.
A lot of people do this parkour, don't they, where they're running around, jumping through building sites, railings and stuff, and the high crane climbers, you know, James Kingston comes to mind. And you sit there and you think, oh, just be careful. Because it can go wrong.
Parkour, I tell you what, if you watch some parkour stuff, it can be incredibly impressive.
Oh, I watched the YouTube,
How do people even do that? That's not how physics works. But then again, you see them fall over and you go, that's the downside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I look at the free climbers. There was an accident the other day, wasn't it, where a lady sadly lost her life practicing a free fall move and it went wrong, you know, and accidents do happen, folks, you know, but honestly, I've watched some wonderful YouTube videos with the talent of these folks that do this parkour. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what, I've suddenly started watching recently, or not really started watching, but if it pops up in my feed, I'll give it a go. I started finding in my feed a load of videos by urban explorers, urbex type stuff.
Yes.
Where either they'll find an old building and just go and check it out, an old abandoned factory or warehouse or office or something, or an old house, and it'll, you know, and I find when they're going into a building and it's still got like stuff in it, but it's been from like 40 years ago. Or one guy found like an abandoned, it was in America, and you know, you used to have the cabooses at the end of a train where it'd be like the guard's van.
Yeah.
With like a little upstairs bit. It was just in the middle of these woods in Canada somewhere, and he's like, why is there a caboose in the middle of the woods? And it turned out it was just exploring inside it, and there was stuff in there, and it'd been converted into like a little caravan. He found the story in the end was the guy had been gifted it by his family, and he made it into like a little sort of hut out in the woods where you can go and, like, you know, chill out and have beer, and just it was like a little outside man cave.
Yeah.
But things like that, or houses that have been abandoned for 50 years, and I'm like, this is fascinating. I'd love to just go into it, because I remember the reason it tickles that fancy is I used to work for Anchor Housing Trust, which was a social care company.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know if they still go, but basically, you know, your elderly parents would perhaps sell the house and move into one of these shared accommodations where it's warden.
Oh, yeah, like my mum did. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a flat in a complex of flats, but there's a warden in charge and they've got pull cords and stuff. Yeah. And they were getting ready for the office to move to Bradford. And they said, right, we need to go and get some of the little bits of equipment from the old office. I'm like, okay, old office, that's cool. And we drove there, and the old office was one of the flats in this shared accommodation complex.
Oh, right.
And they'd just taken this flat and put like desks and chairs in it and stuff. But they hadn't used it in 10 years, and you walked in and there's still like desks and chairs and headsets and bits of paper, and it's like, this is like people just left it a month ago.
Yeah.
And then I just sat there imagining, like, there's a whole office here that's not been touched in 10 years, and yet nobody knows it exists, and yet here we are. So I stole a couple of the office chairs, and, you know. But it's just things like that, where to think that you might be the first person in decades to see inside a place.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. So I find that fascinating. One of them recently was somebody going around an old exchange building in Manchester, an old, like, you know, stock exchange building in Manchester, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's been only closed for about 30 years, but it hadn't been used for about 60 years or 100 years or something, and it was like, incredible. I'd love to do that.
Oh, yeah. It's surprising what you can find in it, just a bit of exploring and that, you know.
Explore old abandoned buildings just to see what's in there.
Oh, good.
It's like when they sometimes go into like an old house that's just, for some reason, has been left out, has been abandoned for 30 years, and they go into it and all the stuff is still there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That opens your eyes, doesn't it? Oh, I like that one as well.
I saw one where they went into this house, and I don't remember, I didn't, dollars, because they're all vintage 1950s, 60s electric train cars. And he said, there's this old train set, like thousands of meters of track just sat there rotting away.
My cousin had it. He bought a house about 12 years ago. And he was putting up one of these loft conversions, you know, with the room upstairs. So he was going through the loft and he found this big old wooden packing case.
Oh, yeah.
And it had a padlock on it. And it kept going up. And it was, you know, so in the end, curiosity got the better. And he jemmied the padlock off. And it was full up with hand-wrapped, brand new in the box dinky toys.
Oh, it'll be worth a fortune.
Pretty much paid for his loft conversion, mate.
Good God.
What a find.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I had no interest in them. He said they went to a good home. Happy days.
I mean, I'm assuming it was like whoever lived there before it died, so there's no way to give them to anybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah. So it was like, yeah, down the auction house they went, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing when you like get a house clearance because someone's passed away and you know, there's stuff in there that nobody knew.
Yeah. No family or anything like that, you know, and it was dinky toys. You know, obviously he'd collected them at some point. And, he was like, I just bunged them on the auction. He said, you know,
I often think like...
Yeah, collector bought them, fair play.
Yeah, I often think now, when I cark it wherever I'm living, if I'm living here or wherever it is, somebody's going to have a field day walking in. They're either going to look at all the stuff that I've accrued over the years and think this can be sold for a lot of money, or they'll just think it's trash and throw it away. Yeah, I kind of hope that not the latter, but you know. Yeah,
it's one of those, isn't it? You know, I had it off of H the other day where she wants me to like sort out all the contacts for the Zoom and all of that lot and all the account details because, you know, without getting too deep, you know, things can happen, can't they?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing at the moment. So, like, she'll have your contact details, obviously. eModels because of the eModels building, you know, that sort of thing, you know. So, you know, it's just planning for the inevitable, isn't it, really? And so it's one of them, isn't it? It's surprising because I went through a stage where I started putting prices on the back of the kits, especially the ones that are rare.
Yeah,
because
did the numbers go bigger than you thought?
Yeah,
shocking,
especially when you Google some of them and you see what they're going for, and you're like, oh my God, I did not realise that.
Yeah, it's when you start thinking about the cost of the value of all the stuff you've got, it can be a horrendous eye-opener. You're like, really? Wow.
Well, when I did my will, when I took retirement, we lodged a new will with the solicitors and we redone all the house insurance and everything. We had the insurance guy around just before we put the conservatory up. And I had this door open because I was letting the room breathe. And he said, what we got going on in here? Look at that. He said, you're a model builder. And then he started looking round and he went, out of interest, he said, you have got this on your house insurance, didn't you? And I went, no, actually, I haven't. He said, you might want to. He said, because I'm looking at stuff. He said, and, you know, he said, how much is a pot of paint? I told him. How much is an airbrush? I told him. He said, look at the monetary value. He said, if you had to go out and buy everything tomorrow, brand new, what would it cost? So I started Googling everything and putting prices on in a spreadsheet. And as you can imagine, you
in spreadsheets, eh? Always with the spreadsheets.
Yeah, it really did mount up. And it's surprising how much money you have in your man cave. It's shocking.
Yeah, without even realising it. Because you build it up slowly over time, don't you? In a lot of ways, in most cases. So you don't really realise how much value you've actually accrued.
It really does open your eyes, folks. It is shocking. It really is. So give it a bit of thought. If you haven't got it on your house insurance, do so. But also... have yourself a fire extinguisher or a fire blanket, in your man cave. I do. And a lot of people in the hangout have got them off the back of what I'm saying because just think, if you had a situation you'd lose everything like that. And it's,
All that hard work.
all that hard work and everything. So, yeah, give it a bit of thought, Peach. Don't get caught out. Oh, I prefer that on the end of that barrel, actually.
End of the barrel.
End of the barrel of fun.
When I do a Deathcore of Krieg Baneblade, I put little Deathcore Aquillas on the sides of the barrels, on the ends of the barrels.
Yeah.
Just because it seems like the right thing to do.
I've got that on the end of one, so have you a bit of him.
Ooh, I like that. Is that a official Baneblade one?
No, it's off of a RAF aircraft decal set.
Oh, jolly good. That's all right.
Because I do believe before we went live, someone said, "Have you got any odd decals that you're going to use?"
Yeah, just stick anything on there.
Not
Just doing it for fun.
Yeah, why not?
Funnily enough, I have.
So eModels are going to have a Baneblade with some RAF decals on there, some automotive decals, because got various ones just to my left.
Most importantly, do you have a Hello Kitty decal to put on it? Somewhere?
No, I don't, mate.
I do. I have many.
Yeah, I don't. They're getting a bit of raggy though, if that helps.
Yeah. I mean, as best I can now, whenever I do a build, I try and get a Hello Kitty decal on there just for laughs, basically. Not all the time, because sometimes the models, there's nowhere to secretly put it.
Yeah.
It's not possible on every model, because sometimes it'd be like, you just couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
But if I can, if there's a place I can sneak one in, like on the Millennium Falcon, oh yeah, you can get that. Definitely, that's got a Hello Kitty on it.
Oh yeah. So we'll let them sit there.
How you coming on with your decals there, buddy?
Coming on all right, mate. Got a few on there. It's just a matter of letting them settle and backwards and forwards with the decal solutions, as you do.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of back and forth, always the way.
Absolutely, mate. And I know that if I don't do it at this stage, I'll forget, and then I'll kick myself when I start doing the weathering. So,
yeah. I'm coming along slowly on the dry brushing. I have to admit, for some reason, I don't quite know why.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's coming out a little bit more grainy on the hull of the tank rather than the turrets.
Oh, is it?
And
yeah.
I don't know if that's just because the way the primer went on originally.
Yeah.
It's got a slight grainy texture to it, which you sometimes get if you've done too many coats of dry brushing. If you do like 3 or 4 different dry brush coats, it can get really grainy.
Absolutely.
No, it's not.
Sorry, mate, go on.
No, go on.
Dream Builder's in saying good evening, as is EC Idaho. He says, Fox, Urbex is a blast to watch or see photos from. Were I a lot younger, I'd be all over Urbex. Yes, absolutely.
You know
News
what
is
I
heading
do
back
now?
to work. Catch you later, Marcy. Sorry, Fox, I did it again, didn't I?
That's all right. If I was exploring in an abandoned building, I'd definitely have all the music from Skyrim, where you're in caves and dungeons, playing on a player, because that's the perfect kind of dark dungeon exploration type music to have playing while you're doing that.
Oh yeah, all day long, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's this weird grainy texture. It's not a problem because basically it's going to be like a battered tank anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll probably end up doing more weathering on the body, on the hull, than I would on the turret because it's close to the ground. But
yeah,
it's just weird how it's got a completely different texture just when it's the same paint. How very strange.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Marcy says, read again. Yeah, I know, Marcy. I know I got it wrong, darling. I got me words jumbled up. Yes, yeah. You know me, mate. If I make a reading mistake, yeah.
Were you reading with Mama Wolf Eyes again?
No, I was reading whilst trying to line a decal up. But apologies.
There you go. That'll learn you.
Yeah, that'll teach me for saying it wrong.
I don't know.
I know. I had one job and I ruined it.
You had one job, Carl. God damn it, Carl.
She'll punish me. I know she will. She'll tell me off. Well, she just did.
Oh, yeah. She just did. I was going to say she already has, yeah.
Bless her. Everyone's saying again, yeah. You'll get used to me in here.
Do. This is the entire reason why Festus Factoids is hilarious.
Yeah.
We play on that. This is why my Festus Factoids was garbage.
My head voice and my voice don't always engage correctly.
Yeah. Sometimes you make the mistake of saying the quiet bit out loud, which is always hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I know. Do you remember that Japanese bloke? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it when you say something and then just sit there for the pause and then you go, that was the quiet bit, wasn't it? It's like, yes, Festa, that was the quiet bit. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Yes, you have, mate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are all H.
The thing is, I get Fox corpsing in one corner, and I've got Chris sat there bolt upright, stern-faced, trying to keep professional in the other. And
Try not to corpse.
Yeah, the difference between them both gives me the giggles. And you've then got Ted sitting there going, what's going on? Brilliant.
Yeah, because you've just gone over his head completely. What?
Yeah.
Ooh. Bless him.
So, yeah, I do try.
You do. It's what makes it fun.
Some people will say you're very trying. I know.
I was just about to say that, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, I know.
And rightly so.
Wouldn't have me any other way, though, actually. Yeah, they probably would.
No, because it'd be boring. To quote the song without singing it for copyright reasons, we love you just the way you are.
That's what we did then.
I used to have when I was a kid, I used to have before I got into synthesizers.
Yeah.
I always had at least one or two of what we later life called kiddie keyboards.
Oh, right.
Which were just like the kind of Casio things with preset sounds and little half-size keys. And they weren't synthesizers, they were just little keyboard rubbish. You couldn't do anything with them. And one of them had that song as the built-in tune.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was so catchy because it just went through all the different sounds on the keyboard. It was one that had 100 different sounds and they were all the crappy usual FM synthesis crappy sounds. But it had that as the theme tune. It was like, it stuck in my head.
I always remember my mate doing Smoke on the Water on a stylophone. It was like, yeah, get in there.
Hey, if you can do something.
And mate, it sounded just as good as Blackmore.
I was in St Andrews once and went into a music shop where they had a sign that saying, anyone playing Stairway to Heaven on guitars will be thrown out.
Our modern music or whatever, Dawson's as it's now branded.
Dawson's, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that on there. No Stairway to Heaven. What else is there? No Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
And no Status Quo.
Yeah.
And they're pretty adamant on that. It's like, okay.
Well, they say no Status Quo because that's not really music. But,
yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it was always cool. I'm guessing Dawson's have expanded because it was always Dawson's when I was a kid around here. We had...
yeah.
Well, there were three... When I was in my music days, there was 3 music shops that I would frequent. When I was at school...
Yeah.
I used to go to my local Dawson's shop because it was all guitars and, clarinets and oboes. But in the little back room, they had little banks of synthesizers, which was all like secretive and quiet. And so I used to go and play on them. It was great because all the boring kids would go and play guitars, and I was like, I want a synthesizer. But then when I got into music properly and I started getting my first synthesizers, it then changed. Dawson's became really boring.
Yeah.
And what my dad did was he took me to A1 Music in Manchester.
Yeah.
And then, so that was a great place because that was just a great place for like electronics and stuff, synths and things. But then just down the road from that was Johnny Roadhouse.
Oh, right, yeah.
Johnny Roadhouse's music shop. And he was like an old jazz musician, I think. And that was a proper like music shop, not one of these like official it was like just, it's right next to a charity shop and a place that sells kebabs, and it's a grumpy little shop.
Yeah.
And it's run by a proper musician. And that was a great place to go because that was where you got all the secondhand stuff. And it was full of all like, concert, old like jazz concert posters on the wall and stuff. But they were quite good for like synths and things.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them places were brilliant, weren't they, back then? Yeah.
It's weird to think that I spent many of my formative years in my, after I left school, hanging around in music shops, like just buying and looking at synthesizers, which is alien to me now. Because it's like, what do most kids do at that age? They go on drinking or, whatever, girls or whatever, boys. But for me, it's like, no, I'm going to go down to A1 Music and like lust over all the synthesizers I can't afford.
Yeah, why not?
Go and look at the new Korg M1 that I can't afford, and then after I got older and I realised it wasn't actually that good anyway.
Yeah, you sit there and you're like, I just wish I could get this. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the days. And
And
it was in the day.
Go on.
It was in the days when, like, I go to A1 Music at Johnny Roadhouse, and they'd have all the latest synths and things, but then they'd still have, in those days, like second-hand, what we would now be like absolute classics, like the Jupiters and the Junos and the Moogs and things, which then weren't like classics. So you could go and buy like a Juno 60 for like 50 quid, 60 quid or 100 quid or whatever, because it wouldn't be that old.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it heartbreaks me now to think I own some synths in my time that at the time were just like old analog, just cheap old analog synths, but now they're absolute legendary classics.
Yeah.
And if I kept them, I'd be absolutely rolling in it. But
Oh, yeah, you'd be minted, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Nearly had a Prophet 5, but not quite. Nearly. So, yes, I do miss those days. If I ever win the lottery, I'll get back into music, writing music.
Yeah, you do miss it, don't you?
Yeah. But I had a choice to make. It was keep all my synth set up or make a workbench.
It's going to be the workbench, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was the choice I had at the time.
Yeah.
If I win the lottery, I'll reverse that and get the synths back. Keep the workbench, but get the synths back on top of it. Those days will come. I will win the lottery.
It's one of them, isn't it? Yeah. You never know. It could be you.
It could be you, because it will win this lottery, of which you speak. Right, I think I'm going to change brush now, because this one's been going for a while. Getting a bit grainy, so I'll change to a new dry brush.
Is it getting a bit scuzzy?
Yeah, and other data connection formats.
I think we did.
Yes. Right, before I do that, I'm just going to step away for one moment. I shall be back in like 1 or 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, no worries. There you go. Let's do there. Retro's in, says, hi, kids. Bit of a warm day today. Yeah, it is a bit, mate, isn't it? How you been, fella? I'll have a look at the chat, actually, now that I can get a word in. Let's have a looky-loo. Mew says she climbed a theatre marquee once. Fire department come to get her down. She told them I was fine. I'd be home in time for dinner. Guess they thought I was too scared to get back down. Absolutely. Wendy says, I agree there, Colin. When the ground comes up to meet you, it puts things in perspective. Also, on the floor for 4 hours does change a lot of things. Absolutely. Muse used to use a neighbour's garage to jump into her swimming pool at her grand's house. Yeah, we had a set of flats up in Tooting, well, Wandsworth, Tooting, called the Henry Prince Estate. And it was them old school big London flats with the big arches and that. It was about 5 levels high. Row after row, all interconnected with roads and arches. But when you used to go to school, you used to climb up one end of Henry Prince, walk across the roofs, come down the other side, and you was outside the school gate. It cut off miles of streets doing it that way. But again, you would drive past it years later, look up, and you would see where you used to shin up this drain pipe to get to the roof, and you think, you know, you was mad as a kid to even attempt that. Retro says he won $176 on the lottery once. He says his mum won a few $100,000 back in the mid-'80s. Congratulations, mate. You know, it's there to be won at the end of the day. I'm not that lucky when it comes to the lottery, really. I've won the odd fiver here or there, but other than that, you know, I've not really enjoyed much success with it. But you never know. We all live in that hope, don't we, that one day our numbers will come in. But they do, they do. Yeah, no worries. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. It's one of them.
I wish my numbers would come up in.
Yeah. You go.
Have I got any more Xandri dust? That is a good question, Fox.
Probably be right behind you, mate, or either that or it's in your tub of paintness.
No, it'll be in one of my drawers of...
Drawers of fullness.
Well, preferably not. Right, there
you
we
go.
What's that?
Let's try and get that off of there.
Pale brown.
There you go.
Ooh, Xandri dust.
I knew you had some.
Yeah. So it's separated a bit, but that's no problem.
Right, wrong with that. Oh, you're right there, Dave. Do you want to do that right under the microphone?
I thought you'd like that. Have that there just in case. Roger Rabbit says, "I will." Oh, have you read?
I've
Rabbit's
read
comment?
the chat. I got an opportunity to read the chat because I managed to get a word in.
Oh, I need to do something about that. That can't be happening again.
I know. Now that you're back, see, I can carry on painting now. No, I took the opportunity to catch up on the chat.
Good lad.
Because it had been a little while. Right, so we've got some skulls and shizzle going on.
Skulls. Always need skulls.
Got a bit of numbers going on. I think that'll be all right. So I'm gonna.
Do you think that'll be all right?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for the decals for now. I'm reasonably happy. There's a couple that just need to go down a bit more, but they'll be persuaded.
Very dark again for some reason.
Let's bung that in there. But then go off for a little bit, and then we'll have a little looky-loo at what's next for us. Put that back in the Baneblade box of Banebladeness. Like that.
Right, so where was it up to? Oh, yes. Side bits. I was debating whether to do all this on the underneath, but
yeah, it's not going to be seen, is it ever?
Yeah, because there's lots of stuff you could do there, but it's not going to be. I'm going to end up weathering that with dirt anyway. So,
look at me.
Talking to clarinet.
Yeah, sorry about that. I stretched up and put the Baneblade box back. You didn't. You did, didn't you? Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Cheeky one there.
It was, wasn't it? It was like, yeah.
Yeah. Little bit of punctuation.
Yeah, that was a little starter there.
Yeah. Your starter for 3.
Yeah. Okay, let's put that away for a moment. Don't need those.
I also need to make sure I don't waste my time doing all this on the panels that end up going to be stripes.
Yeah, so many
Going to end
decal
up being stripes.
heater off because don't need that. Actually, I'll leave that there and leave it on because I shall be using a cotton bud to do a bit of removal of paint in a minute. So
Cotton bud, you say?
yeah,
Jolly
just to rub along some of the edges, just to start pulling some of the paint off in a few places.
Rub along the
Edges.
edges.
See what we did there, folks. Won't do it again, honest. Trust
We will.
me.
We absolutely will. We will do it every chance we get. None of that nonsense. I'm starving.
Are you really? What are you having tonight?
Tonight, Matthew, I made Mama Wolf some. What did I give her for dinner? She had half a bendy sausage and chips with some mushy peas. So it was quick and simple.
Yeah.
But I shall be having. I've got a pack of ready-to-eat drumsticks, chicken drumsticks.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, you just get them out and put them in. So I've got a load of them to eat. So I'm going to have. There's about 8 of them, so I'll have a load of them because I love drumsticks. It's the one way to eat chicken that's not a fuss, other than a dirty great big chicken breast. So I'll have them either with chips or I might do something with rice, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably just chips because I can bung them in. I can make chips in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Rice takes half an hour and that's ridiculous. Yeah, there's just something satisfying about like just chicken drumsticks. It's just like nom 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 gone.
They're a quick win, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I hate more than trying to eat something and it's got bones in it, and you have to navigate your way around like fish, and you have to navigate around and pull bones out. With a chicken drumstick, you know the bones are there. You just go nom 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 nom, and it's gone.
Yeah.
None of this like being careful of the bones. It's like when you get a KFC and you get that thing where it's like half a chicken, it's got all the bits. It's like, I can't eat that because I can't just stick it in my gob and eat it. I have to fettle around.
You've got to faff around with it, haven't you? And it's like, David J.M. is in, saying hello, David. How you doing, mate?
Welcome. Willkommen. Yeah, if I've got to faff around and pick about now, I just want to jam it in my gob and eat it.
Yeah. What a taste. Oh, the dirty chicken.
Mm. It's like one of my girl I used to go out with for a little while. She was Asian, and like, you know, her parents, her mum made like the most fantastic curries, and spicy foods and things. They were from Yemen.
Yeah.
But the downside was that if she made a curry with chicken, it was just like you just cut the chicken into bits and throw it in the pan. So you get this plate and it tastes brilliant, but you've got like there's half a spine.
Oh right, yeah.
and it's like there's all the bone, and I'm like, I can't just shovel it in now. I have to work my way around.
Yeah.
Took the edge off a little bit.
Oh bless.
But then on the plus side, if it was a lamb curry, you get lamb on the bone.
Yeah.
But they'd keep what this was the bongo, which is the marrow, so you could actually suck the marrow out of that. Oh, that was brilliant. I'd never had marrow before. That was great. So that wasn't so bad because you could just chew the lamb off the big hocks.
Yeah.
Big arm, leg bones, whatever. So that was all right.
Isn't it funny how we remember certain foods and that from when we was younger? It's always fond memory, isn't it? It's like,
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I used to go around to her house, right? And then when I came home, I'd be sent back with like just this ridiculously large pan of whatever her mum had made. And she always made food in vast amounts.
Yeah.
So I'd come home with like a family-sized pan full of like, it could just be like rice and potatoes with a little bit of spice in it. Sometimes it was just rice and potatoes, but it was just the best rice and potatoes ever. And I'd sit there and eat it. And it was just like, just couldn't get enough of it. And I've actually found a little takeaway near me, a little Lebanese takeaway that does very similar meals.
Oh, right, yeah.
But they do rice and potato type stuff exactly the way her mum used to do it. It's like, oh
no.
I can't tell you what I ordered because I don't know what the name of the thing is. It's words that mean nothing to me. It's like lamb and tomatoes and rice and potato in it, and chunks of aubergine the size of a baby's head. Oh yes. And now I'm really hungry. Right, so I'm not going to do them because that's going to be me stripes. So there's no point me doing any of that. Really. Do that bit just in case I don't paint that. But these bits here, these three panels, just for the audience, these three panels, these are going to be my, what do you call it? Not regiment stripes, whatever it is, nationality stripes or whatever they are.
Yeah.
In real life. So there's no point fettling with those.
No, that's why I didn't bother doing any chipping up the front of there, because I thought we was going to have them across the front anyway. So
you always like a nice bit of chipping up the front, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do it twice. It's pointless, isn't it? So go to all that effort of chipping it and then you paint over it. It's like that. Do that.
Now, bizarrely, for some reason, the paint on the sides here isn't as textured. I'm getting a nice smooth finish. So there must have been something going on when I sprayed this Xandri dust.
Didn't have a bit of orange peel, did you?
Well, it doesn't look like the original Xandri dust base, but when I'm doing the dry brushing on the horizontals, I'm getting like ever so slight texture, like it's orange peely, but right microscopic. Yeah. Whereas on the sides and on the turret and stuff, it's smooth. So there must have been something in the way the primer landed on the model when I was spraying it. Maybe it was just a little bit of humidity or a little bit too dry. I don't know.
Perhaps you've got a bit of humidity in there, mate.
Yeah, and it just gave it a very... Because it doesn't look textured, but now I'm doing the dry brushing on the tops bits. It is weird. It's not a problem. Because, it's going to be dirty and rusty anyway, so that's fine.
It's a dirty, rusty tank.
Filthy, dirty little tank. Oh, you little dirty little filthy thing. And there's no point me doing these panels because there's going to be a sponsor on top of that. So
yeah, sponsors were mentioned.
Sponsons were mentioned. I might actually get this finished tonight.
You go careful.
This dry brushing stuff.
I was going to say, I thought, you finished the Bandeblade tonight? Never.
No. When I was looking at 1/16th tanks earlier on the eModels website, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs.
So we did there.
I also had a look. I noticed that it also said, because I filtered it by like military. People don't realise there's a whole filter system down the side. I filtered it by military, and then I went into this. It has got that scale, so I thought, oh, we'll try. And it said 50. It said 23mm or 28mm, and I'm like, really? Because that's Warhammer scale, sort of roughly. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll select that, and up came a few. I think they were either Revell or Hella, like 1/56 scale armored vehicles, like tanks and stuff.
Oh right, yeah.
And I'm like, wait, you can buy like a Panzer IV in Warhammer scale? Because its heroic scale is about 1/56, roughly. I'm like, that's bizarre that they make them in that size and scale, but it's kind of cool because you could put one next to a Baneblade and see how big it is.
Oh, yeah, that'd be mint.
Well, they make great orc tanks. Like
Athol's off, he's nodding off. No worries, Athol, you take care, buddy.
See you, Athol.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Yes. Yeah, it's a weird scale.
Yeah, but that's the thing, innit? I mean, you know, we've all done it. We've been on the eModels website, and we've always come across something we didn't think would be there.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're struggling to sleep one night, folks, go over there and have a bit of a search. You'll be surprised what's in there.
Those little ICM figures, you know, the ones where it's like the sci-fi theme. They have the little storyline to them.
Yeah.
They intrigued me. Me. I just found them by accident one day. I like to sometimes go on the eModel site and just play with the filters and see what pops up.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, the like slightly dystopian, isn't it? Like, yeah, I know the ones you mean because we had them on a What's in Store one week, didn't we? Because of that, we found a lot of stuff
this week. It was this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we've done it before where we've messaged each other. Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And we go on a little mission to see what we can find, and it's
It's also fun sometimes to do a bit of a random weird search, like put the stupidest word into the search box and see what comes up.
Yeah, well, we have that every time we do our What's in Store, innit? You come up with something really random, and then you get a hit off it. You're like, oh,
yeah. I mean, if I go into the eModels website now, my search history is like egg, blue, nipple, car. It's just put the weirdest words in and see what comes. Because sometimes you've got no idea for the What's in Store.
Yeah, it really is that late, folks, that we literally just go in and go, oh, damn, it's my What's in Store. Okay, what's the most ridiculous word I can type in? Bang, and you get a hit. You're like, really? Didn't expect a hit on that. And then you've got to find another 5 to go with it. That can be a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times when I've taken like a movie name or something and I've had to do word by word and try and figure out words for each one.
Yep.
And it's also the moment when you realise that, maybe James May has put the wrong category on a model kit. You get like the Batmobile in the sci-fi section or something, or, you get a Napoleonic horseman in the modern armour section. Like,
Yeah.
You find little odds and ends that way. There's
little hussar horse vignette in with Warhammer. You're like,
yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm finding myself enamoured by the 1/16th armour. So it's your fault that I'm going to end up spending all that money.
No, it's not a problem. It's funny because I was filming the last part of the Dakar bike, and I thought, well, I've done the Suzuki. I did the CBR Fireblade. I've done the Ball Tank. I thought,
Ball Tank.
The cat build for them. I thought, I haven't done what I would class as proper armour. All right. The Ball Tank's a what if, mate. It's not proper armour,
it
is
counts,
it?
But it counts. But yes, I know what you mean.
Oh,
not real world
then
armour.
It counts. God.
But not real world armour.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, mate.
Yeah.
I'll get there in a minute, folks. But yeah,
Awesome.
So that's what I was hoping to achieve with this build.
I can't wait to see you build it.
It's going to be interesting.
Does it have an interior? Is it full interior?
No.
I can't remember. No. It's probably
Because I thought it was pointless, because at the end of the day, how are they going to display it?
Yeah.
So why go to all of that and then, you know, ship a kit that's a hell of a lot more money when they could get a sale from that one?
Yeah, I suppose not like the U-boat, is it, where it's got a clear...
Absolutely. Had it have been a cutaway like the 35th Panzer Aus that I've got, then yes, I would have done an interior one, but...
Yeah.
It's still a beautiful looking kit. I had another opening and exam of it the other day, and I'm like, so looking forward to it.
Just the weathering potential alone gets me excited.
It's daunting, don't get me wrong, but, you know.
When I look at it, I just think to myself, it's no more complex than anything I've built before. It's just bigger, that's all. So if I'm doing the weathering and stuff, I think I give myself comfort by saying it's just bigger. It's not more complicated. It probably ends up being. As I said
earlier, you've done a lot more weathering than I have, dear.
Yeah.
Weathering isn't my niche, so I want it to become something that I am comfortable doing. Yeah. So what better way of learning or doing it than tackling a big project like that, because it kicks my backside into learning it.
Also, I think it's actually going to be a more fun experience and probably a bit of a better learning curve doing it on something big than on something small anyway.
Absolutely.
Because you can really experiment and have fun. And
easier for my dexterity doing it on a bigger scale, and then hopefully I can then take that and adapt it so that I can scale it down and do smaller stuff. So
yeah, I think big stuff may be the way forward for you.
Yeah, so yeah, it's one of them, you know, it's like, you know, you adapt and make changes to the hobby as things progress, and that's what I'm having to do. So choosing a kit that scale has got logical reasons behind it.
I just can't wait to see it come together. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so there might be more larger scale stuff to come, folks. It depends on what floats me boat. So keep an eye out.
It would be awesome if that was the case.
Yeah, you never know.
Make it happen, number one. Make it happen, number one.
Yeah. So I've got thoughts on another one I would like to do in a large scale. So there is something on my mind. So it won't be the last of the big builds that I do, put it that way. So, yeah.
Festa likes big builds and he cannot lie.
Well, this is it, you know. I just thought, well, why not have a go at the end of the day? And I was chatting in the Zoom the other day about potential future large-scale build that I've had on my mind for a while. And I thought, well, if I get the tank done and I'm comfortable with that, then I might have a word with James, mate, and say, yeah, are you up for me doing this? And yeah, I think he will be. I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
But yeah, it's on the mind, put it that way. So
yeah, no, you've got me intrigued.
I could tell you if you want. It's not a problem.
I actually, to be honest, I'd rather not know, because then I can have the fun of the reveal when you reveal it, whatever it may be.
Okay.
I know I've got the inside track, but it's actually more fun to be like with everybody else and not actually know. So I can go,
yeah, because it's one of them. It's on me mind. Yeah, and I was chatting to Kevin and Adi in the Zoom just last night about the option of looking at something, and obviously Kevin and Adi don't say anything in the chat because you know what it is, and Fox doesn't want to know.
I don't want to know. I'd rather have the surprise.
But yeah, it was raised last night, and the more I thought about it today, the more I thought, do you know something? Yeah, Hugh Gordon's in, saying hello. Good evening, Hugh.
Hey, Hugh.
How are you, buddy? Nice to see you in, mate.
Welcome, welcome.
So, yeah,
Cool.
there'll be other things we're doing, folks. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just doing a pin wash in some of the panel lines with a 50-50 Agrax Earthshade and Lamia medium.
Medium, it's
Tell
a
you what,
medium.
Let's take them two side turrets off a minute, Cole, because then you'll stop lifting them up with your finger.
I'm not being too careful around these road wheels because they're going to get covered in dirt and dust. I just need to get them popping.
I've not even decided on what colour I'm doing my wheels yet.
I never know with tanks, so I can never remember if the camouflage clear makes sense to the wheel or not, so I just make it the base
it's
colour.
pretty much going to be dust and dirt and detritus down there anyway, so...
Gets everywhere, that detritus, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's a busy little fellow.
he is. Everyone's saying good evening to Hugh. Retro says there's no aircon in the garage he works at, so he spent the day in an oven. He says, I am moist and warm. Are you mildly moist or massively moist?
Exceptionally moist.
That sounded so wrong.
Do you know what? I'm so happy that my microphone is now on a gimbal and I can do that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
It used to be just stuck in a position and I couldn't do anything with it, and I was sad.
Yeah.
Now I can speak into people's brains directly.
Yeah, be afraid,
The
folks.
good thing is nobody likes when I do that, so I just do it more. People have said to me, I don't like when you do that. Excellent, I'll keep doing it.
Absolutely.
Never tell me it gets on your nerves.
Yeah, never say that to Fox, because...
Yeah. Or to Colin, you're exactly the same. If I tell you I don't like something, you'll do it even more.
I see it as encouragement.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I'll do that even more then.
Yeah,
Damn
I
it.
should do it more to increase the moral fortitude.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just said that. It sounded good.
Yeah, he normally says, damn it. I wish I hadn't have mentioned that. So, yeah, but
Very
it's
Victorian.
in my head now, mate. I will remember all the things.
I remember nothing. That is the Fox's way.
Absolutely. Everyone saying hello to David JM, and James is in. Evening, Colin, Fox, and all in
James.
chat. Festa and Foxx. Hello, James. How are you, mate? I hope everything's all right,
James.
guys. And yeah, love to Alicia and Shania. Hopefully, Shania's in bed. Bless her. If she isn't, tell her to do as her told and go to bed.
Yes. I would actually do better reading the chat, but it's so blurry with these magnifying lenses on that I can't actually read it, so
Yeah, that's his excuse.
I can't see it from here. I'm busy doing wiggly marks.
Yeah, he's busy doing
Wiggly
his
marks.
model. So, yeah. So I'll do it. But I don't mind. I love you all, really. Don't tell everyone, though, because they'll all want a bit of love.
They want some Festa love.
Yeah.
Not really any way I can keep this on camera while I'm doing this, but
That's all right, mate. You're doing all right.
yeah.
James,
This
say
dry
hello
brush
to
coat is a bit
everyone.
It's
Yeah,
a bit
go on.
scruffy around the edges, this dry brush coat, but it's got so much weathering to come that it doesn't really matter. Especially fuel drums, they're going to be reused and battered anyway, so
Yeah.
a lot of the scruffy brush marks I'm putting in will go away when I do chipping and stuff, so it's all gravy.
You saying hello to James. James is now feeling the love, aren't you, James? Come on, tell us you are, aren't you?
No, it's just the way he's sat. That was vaguely funny. It was
Yeah, all right then, if you say so.
mildly, maybe.
Stretching it, mate. You're
Am I?
clutching at
Oh.
them straws.
It's because all I can think about is chicken legs right now. I've really got a craving for
You've got your shorts on then, ain't you, if you're thinking of chicken legs. See what I did?
steady now.
Bless him. He's like, don't go picking up my chicken legs.
Chicken legs and a pigeon chest. What more do I need?
Exactly. You've got everything you need there, mate.
Yep.
James is saying Shania, he says, is in bed. Good girl.
Good.
Happy days. Bless her.
Unless that's what she wants you to think, and she's actually broken out again and she's terrorising the neighbourhood.
Yeah, she could well be.
Yeah, might be a little secret way out that you haven't found yet, that she can get out in the middle of the night and go and cause chaos. And be all sweet and innocent the next day. Well, what, me? No, I've just been nothing about that.
Yeah, it wasn't me, Dad, honest.
Nothing to do with me. Don't know anything about that.
Yeah,
Don't know what you're talking about.
Someone must have left it there. Big boy did it and run off.
Yeah, it's always the way.
Yeah, it's the way of things.
I think I might paint these little grabby bits that hold the barrels in place a different colour.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know why. It might be good if I do that. Because I haven't painted the barrel a different colour.
Why don't you do them the same colour as your dark stripe?
Yeah, I was thinking like a dark, almost.
All
but
I
not quite
did is
black
I did mine with the blue stripe, but just to change them up a little bit. I've still got to paint the barrels yet. Paint your barrels.
The barrels. Yeah, I'm just making out that they're made of like some of the material. Like, yeah, that might be quite good doing it dark. Like that, like a rubbery material.
Yeah.
Rubbery. I'll definitely do like a second highlight coat on the barrels though to make them stand out even more.
Yeah, I've got the main colour of the barrels to do still, but I just thought, well, if I can get base coats of this down and the decals on, I can then go around and do all the other colours and that, and then start trying to blend it all together then.
Yeah, I mean, if I thought ahead, I would have done them red, because red always weathers up really nicely on fuel barrels.
Yeah.
But it's too late now. Can't go back.
No.
Can't go back.
As much as you would like to, you can't.
No. Drumsticks.
You can't get them out of your head now, can you?
That's all I can think about right now is drumsticks. It's just literally just putting them all into my face. Potentially at the same time. Like a chicken-eating monster.
And that's the thing, they won't touch the sides, mate, will they, when you get them?
Yeah.
And that's just Mum. Yeah, she'll be right in there, mate, with the old barbecue chicken, won't she?
She likes the drumsticks. Well, we had some, because they're just like bog standard co-op pre-cooked drumsticks.
Yeah.
But we got some of the barbecue ones the other week, and we had those, and they were quite nice, but the next day she was really ill, so I don't know if it was just she was ill anyway, or it was those drumsticks that made her ill, so...
Yeah.
We've stuck to the plain ones since then.
Sometimes some of the sauces could be a little bit suspect, can't they?
Yeah.
So, it could just be unfortunate timing, couldn't it, at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she could have been a bit blarpy anyway, because she's old, so...
Yeah.
Blarpiness is to be expected with old people.
Doesn't take much for their system to be upset, does it?
No. Do you know what makes me laugh, though, is I get her settled downstairs. And we have this on. She has this ongoing joke. She's like, because she sits downstairs and reads her iPad and watches telly with her headphones on.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't wear Bluetooth headphones, absolute godsend when your alternative is having the telly on at 1 billion decibels.
Yeah.
So she sits there and she goes, "Oh God, it's Poirot again," because she watches ITV3, just leaves it on that. And she always moans when it's Poirot. But if I go downstairs to like get a hug or make her a brew and stuff, she's looking around me at the telly. I said, "I thought you didn't like Poirot. She's boring." Yeah, I know, but
it's on there. Yeah, it's like, oh, bless.
Yeah, so she likes watching A Heartbeat and a Poirot and Vera. She likes watching Vera.
Yeah, H is into that, Vera.
Which is funny because she watches it now, she really likes it, but when it first came on a few years ago, she's like, I don't like that programme. She mutters all the time and mumbles, I can't hear her.
Yeah.
Now she's got headphones, you see, she can hear what she says.
Yeah, because she's like my mum, she's not deaf, is she? So
she's a bit deaf in one ear and she's just a bit rubbish in the other ones.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic, mate. They won't admit it. Yeah.
I did that just completely go over my head.
Yeah, it did, mate. I give up. Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, no, that's all right, mate. Ruined a perfectly
I'm
good...
distracted by distracted by drumsticks.
That's all right. You know, I don't mind. I know when my bread's not buttered.
Bread. Can you tell I'm hungry?
I'm thinking of them drumsticks again, ain't you?
I am. I can't stop thinking about them. I just want to put them all in my mouth and have happiness.
Are you like...
Eating food is the best thing ever.
A bit more in there. Yeah, in the chat, don't forget, if you want to ask us anything, feel free, type in what you want an answer to. I'm sure we can endeavour to try not to answer anything, but hey, no.
Yeah, whatever you ask me, I'm guaranteed to talk about drumsticks. I mean, whatever it is you've asked me to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If it's drumsticks, even better.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine an ostrich drumstick? Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, what a leg that would be, eh?
Oh, I want
Now
that
you're
in my face now.
Yeah.
Or just any bird that's very large compared to a chicken.
Ostrich drumstick.
What edible birds are there that are bigger than chickens? I don't know much about edible birds. Turkeys are about the same size, aren't they? They don't taste the same.
Yeah, albatross, pelican.
Albatross, pelican.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just imagine a drumstick twice as big as a chicken drumstick. But just
an ostrich.
But that just tastes like chicken drumstick. Oh.
Emus as well, innit?
I need to bring back the dodo just so I can eat it.
Yeah. Isn't that why it went originally, the dodo?
Yeah. I fully support their plans to resurrect the dodo, sort of. They're thinking about now.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because they reckon they finally got the DNA, don't they? The full spectrum, so to speak. So
yeah, because they're trying to do the same thing for the Tasmanian tiger as well. For the and it's like, well, it wouldn't actually be 100%. It would be, and the mammoth as well. They want to resurrect the mammoth, and it's like, well, it wouldn't fully be a mammoth because obviously it's got to be given birth by an elephant, but it's going to be close as we can get to a mammoth.
It's as near as damn it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, I want mammoth drumsticks. Oh. Wonder what mammoth would taste like.
I could imagine it'd be as tough as old nails, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Would it be like a red meat, like beef? Would it be I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be a red meat, wouldn't it? Because fish are white meat, aren't they?
Yeah, chicken's white meat. But...
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it would be a white meat. Cool, yeah, leg of mammoth. Cool, Bennett. Oh, could you imagine mammoth ribs? I
was just about to say, Flintstone style rack of
ribs. Yeah, what do you want? Dino the mammoth, mate. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you do them blue? Imagine the chef's face.
Oh, God, yeah. Blue brontosaurus steaks.
Oh, mate, it'd be legendary, wouldn't it?
Well, you're not helping me stop thinking about drumsticks now, are you? You're not really helping me with this mission.
No.
You're not getting me out of this problem.
No, I'm not helping you at all, am I?
No, I shall sit down after the stream. I shall sit down with a nice bottle of zero alcohol beer, San Miguel, because it's very nice, and a big stash of my chicken drumsticks and some chips and some other bits and bobs.
Bit of San Miguel, eh?
Yeah, and I shall get a few episodes of Supernatural queued up. And I shall treat myself to a lazy evening.
Happy days.
Just me and my chicken drumsticks, and also the things I'm eating.
Yeah, you're gonna be proper happy, mate, if you have your drumsticks, mate.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen though if he don't have drumsticks? I'm not going to hear the last of it, folks, because my messenger is going to be full up with fox sulks for the rest of the night. So.
No, the best before date was yesterday, but I'm willing to take that risk. They've been in the fridge since we got them, so it's fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
One day, it's hardly Ebola, is it?
Exactly.
Okay, I might not actually finish this tonight. I might get at least all the Zandri dust done.
Yeah, but it don't matter. We've got ages yet.
No.
So
Oh, yeah.
it don't matter, mate. It takes as long as it takes.
Yep. The real irony is when we get to the weathering stage, and I do 10 minutes of enamel weathering, and then it's like I have to leave it now for like a day.
Yeah.
Let's pad the rest of the 2 hours out.
Yeah, we've had that before, haven't we?
Yeah. Just the cost of doing business. I'm putting little painty fingerprints everywhere because I'm getting paint on the back of my fingers from the back of the pot. It is the one annoyance with these Citadel pots.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their moments, don't they?
Paints are great. Pots, not so much.
Yeah.
I'm getting paint off the back onto my fingers and I'm transferring it onto the... Many
times I've sat thinking, now, do I decant these or not? And I just can't be bothered to.
No, you can do, but it's just... if you're going to airbrush, then yes.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to airbrush...
No, I don't. You know, it's just like... Yeah, all right, you're going to end up with pots that are a bit better. But I just think, well, the amount of paint I'm going to waste doing the decanting process is probably negligible to what you get accumulate on the pot anyway. So,
well, the thing I think about it is it's only when I'm dry brushing that I actually keep opening and closing the pot anyway. If I'm doing anything else, I've got a little bit of paint from the pot on a wet palette.
Yeah, that's it, and the lid's shut. Yeah.
Yeah, and I might reload my palette with paint once or twice in this whole painting session, whereas if I'm not actually opening, it's only when I'm doing dry brushing that I get covered in paint from the pot. So
yeah,
there's no point in decanting it because there's no advantage to it, really.
It's no advantage.
No, like I said, unless you're airbrushing, then you can like mix it and thin it and everything and get it in some dropper bottles. It's great. Do 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 do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've both had that thing where we've thought about doing it, but you just think, well, really, yeah, it's only the odd colour that we have that it's happened to, and that's normally the colour that we do the dry brushing with. So
yeah, and it's not that often that I do the dry brushing, so I can sacrifice one pot for dry brushing. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
but it is annoying when you get the paint on your fingers and transfer it to everything else.
Yeah, it tells you, doesn't it? It lets you know.
Yeah. Like I've got a big dot of paint on that ladder there now. It's a little bit rough.
Bit rough.
Rough. See what we did there.
Lord Bartley the First says, I am off to bed, he says. I'm falling asleep at the desk. Old age is creeping up on me. Night all. Take care, buddy. Thanks for coming in and keeping us both company. Sleep well, my friend.
Take care, amigo. You're old, you will sleep well. Just you'll sleep for 2 hours and then get up for a wee. But you'll still sleep well.
Yeah.
Despite the getting up for a wee every 2 hours. Right.
Detritus.
Detritus. I'm not going to do underneath because you're not going to see that. And it's going to get covered in dust and dirt.
Yeah.
So that's a situation where laziness is more than acceptable. Sometimes
definitely.
You're allowed to do. Yeah.
We take laziness to a whole new level, mate, don't we?
Yeah. I'd say we take it to the level of Olympic sport, but that requires doing effort, and that's you don't do sport. But I need to get all that paint off that paint lid later on. Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I did my lead belcher earlier. I was like,
just get all the paint off.
Oh,
yes.
mate, I managed to start it, and I got all the way round to the other side in a perfect circle. I'm like,
when you get it all off in one go. Like you're peeling an orange.
Yeah, I was so proud of myself, mate.
You get 10 points for that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get this paint off my fingers with what I like to call the cup finder or an alcohol wipe.
Good man.
If you've got any little cuts on your fingers, yeah, you'll find out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. You're guaranteed to find any cut with them, aren't you, mate?
Yep. They help separate the men from the boys who can't be trusted with sharp objects. Right, let's get going with the...
Which is pretty much
MP
us
model.
two all over, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. MP Model Plastic Sin says, good evening, Colin and Fox and all the guys in the chat. Greetings.
Hello, Manuel. How are you doing, my friend? Lovely to see you in, mate.
Jeff Light asks, other than Warhammer stuff, have you guys ever built aircraft?
Yes.
You have.
Yeah. I have got up there, I've got an A380, a 747, 72nd scale Concorde. I've got, I think it's a 48 scale Eurofighter Typhoon on the go. Mm-hmm. And then I've got the Airfix 24 Spitfire. Is it Airfix or Revell? It's the Aces II and Maiden one.
That's Revell, I think.
I've got another Tornado that I'm doing for a commission build for a nephew. So, yeah, I do aircraft, mate.
I have built aircraft in the past, just not since I got back into modelling in the last sort of 12 years or so. I built an X-Wing or two.
Yeah.
Does it count as an aircraft? Technically,
yeah, I did a Messerschmitt BF 109 as well. Forgot about that one. So, yeah, I do like doing aircraft. So, yeah. But for me, it's space. It's where to store them so they all hang from the ceiling. But I'm running out of ceiling space now.
Yep. You know what you need to do? You need to install more ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since I got back into the hobby, about 2011, 2010, I haven't done an aircraft, but I will do at some point. Because I built them when I was younger. Yeah. But I haven't learned any, since I've been learning all the skills over the last 10 years, I haven't learned any of aircraft painting and weathering skills. So. Yeah,
I mean, I did a lot of civil aircraft, and that's when I discovered the pleasures of appliance white paint. Absolute brilliant for your civil aircraft and your NASA spacecraft. So, yeah.
Sorry, just having a coffee fit there. Yeah, I mean, civil aircraft for me, shiny, no. Has no interest for me, but like military aircraft where you can do a little bit of weathering on them. Yeah. Maybe. But again, I haven't spent any time learning those specific skills. I will do at some point.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I'll probably stick to like World War II aircraft because I'm not interested in shiny fighter jets. They don't interest me at all. But like piston engine aircraft, World War II stuff, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, all day long, mate. Spitfires, Hurricanes, anything like that. Yeah.
Because to me, they weren't pristine and clean. They looked a bit well worn. By the end of the end of their active service life, they were
a little bit rickety, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So you can get away with some weathering on that kind of stuff because they were looked after, but they weren't repainted ever. If they lasted that long, they might be touched up a little bit.
Jeff says, the lack of space problem, I know it well. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing them, Jeff, to be honest with you, mate. I'm looking forward to doing the Spitfire. The Aces I've got the Motorhead Bomber as well, the Heinkel 111. Got that one. To do as well. Triple.
Is that for a pound?
Yeah. Rate for a pound, mate.
Yeah, cool.
Very good, says Manuel. Thanks, Colin Fox. Love the camouflage. If the Colin tank, remember Winter, and the Fox tank looks like Desert Scheme. Very top, yeah. Well, we wanted to do something different from each other so that you as viewers could see the different variants of Baneblades that you can make from the kit, but also the different schemes from the box art. So hopefully we've kind of done that or achieved that, because
a little bit.
You don't want us to see us do identical paint jobs on the Baneblades, because there'd be two identical Baneblades. So and they're going back to eModels, so it'll let them, when they have people in to see them, they'll be able to see that you can do both variants from this kit. Job done.
And I thought it's nicer to do something that's not just green or grey. I've done a lot of green tanks and grey tanks and Baneblades, and they're great to do, but some, thought I'd get out of my comfort zone and try and do a brush camouflage scheme.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a change, don't you?
Yeah.
And once we both hit on our paint schemes, it's pretty much go from there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if I have a preference for for AFVs and tanks and stuff, it's that kind of just overall German grey. I suppose what would be the sort of World War II European theatre German grey colour scheme because it works great with weathering.
Yeah.
Which is why if I'm building, say, World War II German stuff, it's going to be the German grey colour because you can weather it so nicely. Yeah. Whereas desert colour schemes, to me, I've got no clue how to weather them in a satisfactory way for me because I like lots of weathering. Mm. And if it's desert coloured, you put in desert colours on desert colour. It's like,
yeah, all you can really do is filters, isn't it?
Yeah, and that doesn't interest me at all because I'm covered in mud and blech and stuff.
Oh yes,
it could be, but so
yeah. He's saying that he loves the choices of colour schemes. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying them, mate. Thank you very much for your feedback because it all helps. And that's all we're trying to do is just show different ways of doing the same build.
Yeah, and if it means that eModels pay us, then even better. Joking.
And again, when we've done these, they'll be heading off back to the eModels store. So the next time you're up there, you may see them in there. You may see them in the display cabinets.
Yep. Looking big and Banebladey.
Alongside the Eagle transporter that we never mentioned because Fox is missing it.
Don't mention the Eagle transporter.
Oh, did I mention it? Sorry, mate.
My baby.
Oh, I just mentioned it, didn't I? Oh, damn.
You did mention it, and now I'm sad now.
Oh, miss my mate. Baby. Oh, bless you.
You've given me the sadness. Tell you what, there is one advantage to doing lots of weathering, though.
What's that?
Like I do. Because this is going to be battered and beaten and chipped and everything. I've got a few bits there. I've got like a bit of maybe a little hint of a fingerprint in the paint.
Yeah.
But it's where I've had dry brushing paint on my thumb and touched it, not where I've put my finger in wet paint. But that's fine because that's where I can just do chipping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which it just hides it. That's why I can't do factory fresh vehicles because I can't paint well enough to make anything factory fresh. I need to do weathering to cover up my painting incompetence.
Yeah, weathering hides a multitude of mess-ups. Oh, I cleaned that up, didn't I?
You did. Weathering hides all your sins.
Weather out your mistakes, effectively.
Yeah, weather on, weather off. Guess what, dude? There's only a couple of months to go till Starfield.
MPLP says, my favourite subject in armour are the German tanks, World War II. Their camouflages are spectacular. They are, mate. A lot of the mottling and dazzle and this different weathering that you can get on these sort of tanks is, I
have to say, though, I don't know for me, but like the ones where you've got like the orangey colour, the brown and the blacks, the kind of... it doesn't work for in my head. I couldn't... I don't know. My brain's
What, you want about the large dot schemes?
No, there may be a bit of that, and some of the foresty colour schemes.
Yeah.
Like the I can't. It's top of my head. You'd know it if you saw it. The kind of like coloured patches, but it's like the reddy brown, the desert tan.
Yeah, I know the ones. Yeah.
My brain goes. Ee.
Yeah, it's like
I look at it and think. It looks like a bad paint job rather than a real colour.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a bad case of acne, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think I just like the German grey flat colour scheme. Probably because I'm lazy as well, which is probably part of it. Let's not mince words here, Bones.
Nothing wrong with being lazy, mate.
No. I should rename my channel to the Lazy Model Maker, really.
I see what you did there.
A lot of my tutorials are, here's how you paint something by making no absolute goddamn effort at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
Here's how you paint something without doing all the complicated stuff.
I like your thinking.
You're free to go and learn the complicated stuff later, but I can get you started on the easy stuff. Like, drumsticks. I mean, brush painting, camouflage. Drumsticks.
Are you still thinking you are, aren't you?
I am really, really hungry.
Oh, bless you. How are we doing?
I'm exceptionally hungry. I'm hungering for drumsticks.
Well, we're coming up to 11 o'clock. When do you want to go to?
I'd say to 11, actually, to be honest. For Mama Wolf, nothing rather than anything else.
There you go then, folks. So we'll come off in 5 minutes' time.
Ja, 5 Minuten, das ist
Yeah,
richtig.
he says for Mama Wolf's sake, but no, it's drumsticks, really.
It's for my drumstick's sake.
Yeah, that's what it
Well,
is.
I need to make sure she's watered and.
Paul D.
cleaned.
Tommaso's in saying good evening, Paul.
Paul.
How the devil are you, mate? We're going to be coming off air literally in about 5 minutes, buddy.
5 Minuten.
Feel free to watch it back.
Now I'll have to actually finish this part of the camouflage scheme off camera later, because if I don't, I'll forget where I got up to next week.
Do what you like, mate. It's not a problem.
So I'll probably finish the dark grey off camera later, just so I don't duplicate painting anywhere.
Nothing wrong with that. Needs must and all of that. If it helps, it helps, doesn't it?
You know why I like dry brushing so much? Because it's messy. State of that. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
If there was a painting technique for models where I could use half a potato, then you can guarantee I'd choose it, because it's just great fun.
Well, it just makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've not figured out how to use half a potato in a model painting scheme yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Oh, I'm sure you will find a way.
Yeah. Now, here's a new technique, and it requires you to have one thing, half a potato.
So we could do the base blue behind there, I reckon. Got a bit of lead.
A little bit blue for the dads.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh.
I can actually do less dry brushing on the dark grey colour, because the Agrax Earthshade I put on the dark grey looks less ratchety and coffee stainy than it does on the Xandri Dust colour, because it just looks more like a very fine oily schmutz on the dark grey, whereas on the sand colour it looks like a bad wash. So on the dark grey I can actually do less dry brushing, because it just helps the grey look patchy and oily. It doesn't look like I've just put a wash on it and left it. Which it doesn't
Retro
sound.
says he's going to attempt to warm up spicy beef patty in his new wide slice toaster. He's thinking if it can toast a bagel, it can warm up a patty. There you go.
Yeah, it's just heat at the end of the day. I mean,
Only eat, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of
I
the
was
day.
trying to figure out the other day. We've got a rice cooker, which is just a plastic tub you put rice in and bang it in the microwave.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, can I actually put veggies in with the rice? Would that work? Like, could I chop up some spring onions or?
You never
leek
know.
and
Give it a
stuff?
go.
I'll have to give it a go and see. Because if it saves me having to do all the leeks and onions and other things at least leeks and spring onions in a separate pan in water, and pop them in for half an hour with the rice, then happy days.
Exactly, mate.
That would be a goodly thing to learn. What are you having for your dinner later then, Cole?
I've got absolutely no idea. What day is it? Wednesday.
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 Sausage?
No, I am.
It's Friday, isn't it, sausage?
I think it might be beef burgers, mate. I think.
When do you normally end up with a waffle? Is that on a Thursday?
Yeah. It could be waffles night, or did I have waffles last night? I can't remember, mate.
Bird's eye potato waffles.
Waffles.
Waffle versatile.
Yeah.
I've not had bird's eye potato waffles for so long.
I know I had fish last night. That's what I had last night. So
The thing with potato waffles is they taste of nothing, but yet at the same time, they're really nice.
yeah, but when I have them with beans, I fill up all the little empty bits with beans.
Oh, yeah. Now, that is a good plan. I like that.
Yeah. It's a bit like when you have beans and mash. You've got to mix the beans in with the mash.
Did you ever like have lots of waffles on the plate and make like sandwiches out of them?
Yes.
Have something between the waffles, like sausage and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Americans are thinking of something completely different now because they've got no idea what.
My missus
potato
is
waffles are.
like, can't you just eat your dinner? Why you got to play with it? And I'm like, God, you sound just like my mother. You know, but you have sausage, mash and beans. You build a big wigwam with the sausages in the mash.
Yeah.
Or if you're really big childish, you'll do, with the sausage and mash.
Yep.
The beans always get mixed. Always.
Yeah. And there's the unwritten law of gravy and mash. You always make a lake. Always
Gotta
make
have a gravy lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you get mash and gravy in the same meal, it absolutely has to happen.
Yeah, if you don't, there's something really, really wrong with you.
Yeah. Every time you have mash and gravy, don't make a lake, a kitten dies.
I see what he did there.
Tell you what, do you want to go on for a little bit longer? I've nearly finished this grey now, so...
Yeah, all right then, mate.
I don't mind going for a few extra minutes just so I can get this grey done.
Mate, not a problem. I'm working around
as long as you're good for
tonight.
that.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
All right. Only extra 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, honestly, mate, I'm just filling in between me exhaust pipes anyway. Filling in me pipes.
In between the exhaust pipes. I've heard about you and you're filling in between your exhaust pipes.
Yeah.
Tart. You hussy.
I am a brazen hussy, mate, with H.
That Colin and his exhaust pipes.
Yeah, your exhaust pipes here. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 exhausts.
You ain't seen the like of it. That Colin and his exhausts.
I did exhaustive research. See what I did.
Oh, God, you just did that, didn't you?
MP says, I'm studying a new project, transferring for paper some drawings of river stream boat from Mississippi with alternative materials, toothpicks, bolts or wood sticks, etc. That sounds an interesting project, mate.
That's a proper old traditional model making, though, and wood sticks and wood and stuff, matchsticks and stuff.
My first plane was, do you remember the wood and paper kits you used to get?
Yep.
Where you used to have the tissue paper that you used to dub with the glue. And it was the Wright brothers. I think it was the Kitty Hawk, was it their plane? And that was the first one I ever done. And I loved every minute of it, mate.
Is that where you had to get like the ribs and get them with the pins in the board over the diagram?
Yeah.
Never actually did one of them. My brother did one, and I remember seeing like the spars of the wing all laid out on the instructions with pins. I don't think I ever finished it.
Yeah, it was proper. Almost looked like proper blueprints, you know. And it was great fun.
Because they were like 1-to-1, weren't they? Because you could lay out the bits over the. Yeah, I never tried one of those. I remember seeing in my local model shop the red balloon, as it was at the time, back in the 80s. They had one hanging off the roof. It was like a really big, massive, like wooden frame tissue paper biplane. I was always really impressed by it. I was like, how did they make that?
Yeah.
If I could go back in time now and look at it, it'd probably be garbage.
Yeah.
Because the one thing you learn when you get old, there's a lot of stuff you thought was really good when you were a kid.
It's actually not. Yeah.
Like Tamiya box models.
Yeah, it's not glue.
Or Tamiya, it's not glue. It's like going back and looking at old Tamiya catalogues now. And I thought, wow, I used to thought these paint jobs were good. Really?
Oh yeah, old Tamiya box art.
Oh no, the box art's great, but the actual models that used to have in a catalogue were just like
Revell box art. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Revell box art. Oh, that's never been good.
All I've got to say, SWAT.
SWAT. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was one I saw the other day? It was a Revell one, and it was what was it? I can't remember. And it was some kind of whatever. I can't remember what it was, but all I remember is it was a really simple paint job on a really simple thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It was just something that would have been like one colour.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly ornate, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like even that was a bad paint job. I'm like, really?
Really?
Come on now. What was it? It might have been a sci-fi thing, but I can't think what it was. Oh, it's gonna vex me now. It was something really like it's like an Eagle Transporter. It's just off-white. There you go. Damn. Bang.
Yeah.
It's not a hard paint job.
Yeah.
But they still messed it up.
It's sometimes how they can manage to make a 3-dimensional object look 2-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a skill, isn't it? It's like,
I don't know if they just
dude was the guy with the shiny clothes, wasn't it? It's like
shiny everything. Yeah, it's like, wow, you never heard of matte varnish?
It was epic, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's just that they don't pay much for their box artists, and therefore they get not very good painters. Maybe
I don't know. because some of the recent stuff ain't bad, but
yeah, a few decent ones. But it's like if you look at the Mandalorian Razor Crest, paint job on that on the box is just god awful. It's like, really, what do you paint it with, a dead cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember, this is going back a few years, there was a guy on Facebook, I don't remember his name, but he was claiming to be a Revell box artist.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he was, and I remember there was lots of falling outs in all the groups because he was utterly not a very nice person at all.
I think we spotted him, wasn't it? Yeah, I know the one you mean, because you've done a screenshot of something.
Yeah, and he was he was like a really nasty person.
Yeah. And
he was the kind of person that whenever anybody put their work up, he'd read really horrible comments to them.
Yeah.
And he wasn't very pleasant, but he used to go, I'm a Revell box painter, I know everything. And then he put up pictures of his work, and it's like, yeah, you really are a Revell box painter, aren't you?
Yeah.
He wasn't a very nice person.
Yeah, there was some proper nasty stuff. Because you messaged me one, didn't you, and went, am I wrong to be offended? Because it was just the way you shouted down this person, wasn't it? And it was like, oh, he's a bit of a wally, isn't he, that bloke? Yeah. Yeah.
And he thought he was the big I am because he was a Revell box painter. Because they basically, I think they're all contractors anyway. He said that, and it's like, but if you go and look at his page, here's some of the cars I've painted. It's like, wow, I could paint that.
Yeah, he was really very bad, wasn't he? For
he was not very good at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, well, that proves you are a Revell box painter then, or you could potentially be, because you're pretty bad. So
yeah,
it does make me wonder, when you're selling this product, and Revell aren't the only ones, but it's like when you're selling a product and the whole point of the product is to build it and paint it, you think they would actually make the effort of getting a well-painted model on the box.
Yeah, but sometimes I think it's a bit like GW, wasn't it, where there was speed involved, wasn't there? It's kind of, you've got X amount of time to build and paint this. And if they're rushing it, then you're not going to get as good a job, are they?
No, I mean, the GW stuff is always exceptionally well painted, but that's because they get them.
Yeah, if I said to you, right, you've got to have that Baneblade done, and you had it in primer, and it's, you've got to do that in 2 days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would suspect with Revell it really is a case of pilot high and sell it cheap, get the thing built and painted quickly, and then stick it on the box.
You got it.
Whereas GW, they get the models like months in advance.
Yes.
I remember reading one of the painters of the Heavy Metal team saying that they can spend like 4 weeks painting one single figure.
Yeah. If
it's like a character figure and it's got the box art, it's like, I could spend a month painting that.
Yeah, but when you look at some of the work, it is spectacular, isn't it? Let's be fair. We're talking Duncan Roads and that, aren't we? Now.
But it's like, I mean, I did that little that German armoured car thing I did free models.
Yeah, I remember it. The
little,
ICM one? Yeah.
Yeah, the little ICM one, the Fahrzeug Sonderkraft, whatever.
Yeah, that and all.
All that flavour. And I literally had a weekend to do that. And in that weekend, I built it, painted it, and weathered it.
Yeah.
Just cutting all the corners because it had to be done quickly. And it was literally, I just sprayed it the German grey, painted a few details very quickly, gave it some washes and some basic washes and weathering. And that was like over a weekend, and that looked vastly superior to anything that Revell did. And even that was just a basic paint job. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong, it can be done. It depends on what you're trying to do, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if that's the kind of quality of the work they have, I'll take their money and paint models for them, because it'll be a couple of days' work and I'll get paid nice money. There you go. I'd never admit it, though.
No.
Right, there we go. I think that'll do for the grey.
But you never know, do you, what they're up against, the painters, Like you say, are they just giving it, it could be just some random guy off the street. Here, mate, if we send you this kit, can you paint it? I don't know.
No, I mean, I suppose if they're contractors, they're going to want to pay as little as possible for them.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose if somebody was to put into the paint job for the box art as much as they will put into the paint job for, say, a commission, they'd probably charge Revell a fortune, and then Revell would just be like,
exactly. Is it
too
one
slow,
of those?
too expensive.
they ring the local art agency, or have you got any art students or anyone who wants to earn a few quid? Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
It could be something like that.
Yeah, it's the downside of not having an in-house painting team, I suppose.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, like Tamir is an in-house painting team, so they just...
Yeah, to me it's all done in-house.
Yeah.
Ryefields are, aren't they?
Yeah, because I suppose the other thing as well is that companies like Ryefield, they're not churning out hundreds of millions of kits like Revell. So again, that's another thing to consider is Revell. They do pilot high and sell it cheap, so they churn out so much that...
Well, it's mass pro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not viable for them to have an actual painting team because they employ half a country.
You know, that's the thing. It's all done high, like you say, high volume. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that is one thing to consider. Right, there we go. I'm done.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm just putting my water out of the way so I don't knock it flying, mate.
Don't knock it flying, dude. Right, that'll do. I know where I'm up to now. I'm not going to be...
There you go. Happy days.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had quite a nice leisurely evening, mate, didn't we?
Yeah, a bit nice bit of natter and everything. I like it when we're doing simple stuff we don't have to think about doing.
Well, this is it. We can yatter away, you know. I mean, I've had an easy night just doing a bit of decal in there. They've gone down. I just need to go over a few of the more stubborn ones to give them a kick bump. Then I'll probably do a satin varnish where I am. Then I can start doing all the itty-bitty weathering then.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've
had an easy evening just doing dry brushings.
Yeah.
Which is not... It's not brilliant. It's not the most bestest world quality paint job, but you know it's going to have chipping, it's going to have weathering, streaking, grime. It's going to be. So
are you happy with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Because I know what's going on top. I might do another dry brush run later next week.
We know where they're going to be displayed at the back of a shelf in a cabinet.
Yeah, behind the water pipes. So I might do another highlight coat, just with one lighter colour for each, maybe next week. We'll see.
All right, just in a few spaces to give it a pop. A bit of dazzle.
Well, yeah, just to bring out the centre of panels a little bit more so that when I do put all the other stuff on top, it's not going to go all dark and grubby again, basically.
Yeah.
Get more contrast now, and then when all the dirt goes on top, it's still a bit poppy.
Well, this is it. I've got me shade to put on yet, so I'll probably end up having to go back over a few bits just to give a bit of dry brushing just to make them re-pop. Yeah, I've got me chipping to do. I've got to sand me decals yet to weather them down a bit and fade them in.
That's quite a good idea.
So, yeah.
I mean, next week I'll probably do another highlight coat then, and then I'll do my decals next week.
Yeah, they stick out like a blind cobbler's thumb at the moment because they're bright and the paint job's dull. But once they've had the buffing sticks and the sanding sticks over them and they've been weathered down, they'll contrast in quite nicely.
Once we've got our decals on, I can start painting all the other bits of details and stuff.
Yeah, I've got to be chipping to start yet, mate.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, I've got all the chipping to. That'll be weeks, so that'll keep us going for weeks, that will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, it's quite a bit. You know, I've still got to do all me streaking grime around every single rivet, all of that lot to do. So there's loads to do.
Oh, God, yeah. I love that bit because you can do it's basically a pin wash and a streaking coat at the same time. It's great.
Pretty much, yeah. So, lots to do. And plus, don't forget, we've got all the extra detail bits inside still, the dudes and the ladders and the bullets and guns and all of that lot. Mm-hmm. I spent an hour looking for them the other week.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Were they in the safe space you were going to put them in the first time?
Yeah, I was looking around and I hunted everywhere, and then I moved that off. And they're all everything. Yeah.
Golden rule about having a safe space. Remember where the safe space is.
Yeah. But no, I'm happy. I've got my decals down. I can now start bringing it all together.
It's looking so good. It's looking so good.
Yeah, it's like anything. It does need weathering, and it just needs now bringing together, blending together. That's the word. So
I'm looking at yours in the same way I look at mine, so I can look at yours and then imagine all the weathering and stuff on top, and then try and think what it's going to look like. It's like, sweet man.
So I'm glad I stuck with it really, and went with it. So I'm happy with it.
You did. The boy did well.
Absolutely, folks. Absolutely. So we're going to let you all get off. I'd love and leave you until the next Wednesday eModels show. So tune in next week at the same time to see some more work on this Baneblade. Me and Fox will be back on Wednesday. Yeah, that's what I did say, mate. I did mention yours.
I know. I just.
You have to interrupt. And we'll be back on. We'll be. You do it. You do the rollout. Go on.
No, go on. You're doing it.
No, you carry on.
No, go on. No, go on.
Know what I mean, folks? You don't let me get a word in. I will be back on the Frolic on Friday, folks.
Yes.
We're in the Bluey car, so we'll love and leave you. Don't forget, pop over to eModels and have a look at what's in store. If you want to grab one of these, the link's in the chat, in the description. And we'll see you on the next stream, folks. Until then, adios amigos.
Oh, that's my. Oh, adios amigos. Oh, tart.